45 dumbest vacation meltdowns that got tourists arrested abroad. Vacations promise two things: scenery and forgiveness. You can wear sandals with socks, order dessert twice, and pretend the exchange rate favors your wallet and your judgment. But some travelers push that amnesty like a door marked, "Do not enter." Then, act surprised when it opens into a police station. This file is about them. The tourists who flew across oceans to collect handcuffs as souvenirs. We're not here for tragedies or misunderstandings. We're here for meltdowns so flamboyant they needed subtitles. The rooftop karaoke that turned into a riot. The museum tantrum that triggered a fire alarm. The poolside debate with a lifeguard whistle that graduated into an international incident. Each story is a postcard from the border where entitlement meets local law and loses in public. Across these 45 cases, you'll witness a simple pattern. Alcohol shortens the fuse, a camera extends the blast, and a uniform ends the scene. Customs officers are not trip advisors. Sacred sites are not selfie props. And "I'm an American/British tourist" is not a legal defense in any known jurisdiction. So fasten your seatbelt and place your tray table in the upright position. We are now arriving at a destination called Consequences. On your left, the breathtaking view of a courthouse. On your right, the gift shop where they sell humility at a painful markup. Welcome to the Absurdist Files, a guided tour of the dumbest vacation blow-ups that ended not with sunsets, but with mugshots. Arrested for the souvenir. 1. In a seaside capital, a tourist drunkenly rescued a police horse by untying it outside a bar. The horse walked into traffic. Officers sprinted. Chaos bloomed like fireworks. He argued he was liberating public transport. The judge suggested he try walking, straight to a cell for the night, and a fine that outpriced his hotel. 2. At an ancient temple, a traveler insisted on climbing the altar for perspective, ignoring ropes and multilingual signs. When staff intervened, he staged a loud lecture on freedom of expression. Local law expressed itself with handcuffs. His perspective shifted to stone walls and a pamphlet on cultural heritage. 3. A backpacker brought a drone to a historic old town with a strict no-fly zone. He live-streamed the footage while police watched the same stream in their office. When the drone landed, so did the officers, on his wrists. He learned geofencing the hard way, with bars. 4. On a packed beach, a tourist commandeered a lifeguard's rescue kayak to prove a point about fitness. The point dissolved in shore break. The kayak cracked. The lifeguard called backup. "It's just a kayak," he pleaded. "It's government property," replied the paperwork. 5. In a famous museum, a visitor pounded a display case to test its bulletproof label. The alarm passed with flying colors. He did not. Security escorted him to a quieter gallery titled Booking Room. His review later read, "Authentic experience, interactive, immersive, expensive." 6. A couple argued so loudly in a scenic square that a street performer broke character and asked them to move. They shoved the mime. The mime didn't speak, but the nearby officer did. Assaulting silence turned out to be chargeable. 7. A cruise passenger missed departure after shopping, then demanded the captain reverse the ship. She hurled luggage at port staff and called it customer service escalation. The escalation ended in a holding room where she discovered cruise schedules are not opinions. 8. At a national park, a traveler tried to pet a wild bison for a selfie. The bison disagreed politely by existing. Rangers intervened before horns did. He left with a citation, a sprained ego, and the rare souvenir of being banned from nature. 9. In a picturesque alley, a tourist sprayed his Instagram handle on a centuries-old wall to leave a mark. He did. So did the prosecutor. Community service came with a brush and solvent, the only brand deal he secured. 10. A budget flyer opened an emergency exit for fresh air while the plane waited on the tarmac. Fresh air arrived alongside armed officials and a staircase to custody. The airline billed him for delays. His vacation splurges now include an invoice from physics. Lost in translation and in custody. 11. In Tokyo, a man yelled at a vending machine for scamming him out of a drink. He shook it until it tipped onto a parked patrol bike. The machine survived. The bike didn't. He told police it was an accident of passion. They agreed with the first word. 12. A bachelorette group in Rome thought it'd be funny to swim in the Trevi Fountain at midnight. Security disagreed. They were escorted out dripping and fined enough to fund an actual honeymoon. Their coins in the fountain technically fulfilled the wish for an unforgettable trip. 13. In Bali, a fitness influencer performed handstands on a temple gate. Locals gasped. Authorities called it desecration. She apologized online in leggings, gaining followers, and a deportation notice. Enlightenment achieved via customs. 14. A man smuggled sand from a famous beach as a natural souvenir. Customs scanners spotted the bottle. Turns out, exporting sand is illegal. He argued it was just dirt. The fine converted to 3 nights in a concrete room with no scenic view. 15. During a tour in Cairo, a couple climbed into a restricted pyramid chamber for better selfies. The heat was tolerable. The charges weren't. "We didn't see the sign," they said. The guard pointed to the sign, in 5 languages. Illiteracy had never been so expensive. 16. In Iceland, a tourist tried to camp beside an active geyser for content. Nature responded with a boiling reminder. He survived, minus pride, plus media coverage. The headline: Influencer erupts after ignoring rules. 17. A bachelor party in Prague attached fireworks to electric scooters. The scooters obeyed physics, not peer pressure. When police arrived, the group posed for photos, mistaking the siren lights for part of the show. Their mugshots went viral before their video did. 18. A traveler in Spain wandered into a bull ring during maintenance, waving his scarf for fun. Security cameras caught everything, including his sprint to the exit once the bull arrived earlier than scheduled. He escaped with bruises and a charge for trespassing on destiny. 19. In Thailand, a backpacker stole a Buddha statue for good luck. Airport X-rays found enlightenment in his carry-on. He claimed ignorance of sacred law. The officer bowed politely, then pointed to the detention room, another kind of meditation chamber. 20. On a Caribbean island, a tourist fed rum to a monkey and laughed until the monkey bit someone. Police described it as contributing to the delinquency of a primate. He described it as unexpected. The monkey was released. He wasn't. Tourist logic. Local law. 20 stories in, one truth stands. Travel reveals character, especially to law enforcement. Most of these arrests weren't misunderstandings. They were experiments in entitlement. Tourists forget that freedom isn't duty-free, and the world doesn't issue refunds for stupidity. In every case, the phrase, "I didn't know," translated perfectly into every language. You still did it. Welcome to the halfway mark of File 002, where ignorance is the only souvenir that's free, and every passport doubles as a punchline. Drunk, dumb, and detained. 21. In Amsterdam, A tourist mistook a police boat for a water taxi and demanded a ride to his hotel. When told to step off, he offered to tip heavily. The officers obliged, with a ticket and an overnight stay. His TripAdvisor review mentioned friendly service, limited privacy. 22. A couple in Mexico argued with resort staff over an all-you-can-drink limit. The husband insisted, "Infinity means infinity." Security escorted them to a quieter bar called the Holding Area. He still insists it was false advertising. 23. In Greece, a man tried to ride a donkey down a pedestrian staircase, like in the movies. The donkey refused. Gravity didn't. Tourists filmed, police arrived, and the animal became a local hero. The man became a cautionary sign at the rental booth. 24. In Dubai, a tourist decided to test luxury hospitality by swimming naked in a hotel fountain. He blamed jet lag. The police blamed public decency law. His influencer apology video had 2 million views, half from his cellmates watching TV. 25. In Ireland, a bachelor group stole a pub sign as a souvenir. Locals found it quickly. It was the town's only sign. They were caught when they tried to order drinks under it. Their punishment? Buying the entire bar around, plus court fees. Cultural exchange completed. 26. At an airport lounge, a man slept through boarding, woke up furious, and pulled the fire alarm, so everyone misses the flight. Everyone did, including him, straight into custody. The local paper called him the equal opportunity idiot. 27. A woman in Venice attempted to float home on a stolen gondola after midnight. She got 20 meters before police intercepted her. She claimed romantic impulse. The court called it grand theft maritime. 28. In Japan, a tourist filmed himself licking train handles as a challenge. Authorities tracked the video and fined him under public hygiene laws. His defense, it was just for followers, earned him one, the state. 29. In Morocco, 2 backpackers argued over who would drive a rented camel. They both climbed on. The camel bolted into a market, scattering stalls and produce. No one was seriously hurt, but the fine equaled 5 camels. The guide called it tourism in motion. 30. In Croatia, a man dove from a hotel balcony into the pool, except the pool was under renovation. His broken pride was matched only by the glass of his arrest photo, taken under the caption, "Gravity, undefeated, the geography of regret." By the third act, geography no longer matters. From Tokyo to Tulum, the same pattern repeats. A bad decision, a camera, and a story that'll follow them home. Travel doesn't broaden the mind. It merely exports the same stupidity to warmer climates. Every culture has its taboos, but tourists share one universal ritual: finding the nearest police station by instinct. 45 stories in progress, and humanity keeps proving the obvious. Vacation is temporary, but the internet is forever. When the world finally fought back. 31. In Paris, a man spray-painted love across a historic bridge to leave a message for humanity. The message was received by police. His romantic gesture cost him 2 nights in detention and a fine the size of a wedding ring. 32. A group of hikers in Switzerland roasted marshmallows over a thermal vent marked "Do Not Touch." The vent responded with a small explosion. No one was hurt. Pride suffered burns. They were fined for reckless cooking at a geological site. Michelin gave 0 stars. 33. In Australia, a tourist teased a kangaroo for a selfie. The kangaroo countered with a left hook. The video earned 10 million views. The caption wrote itself, "Instant karma from nature's bouncer." 34. A man in Egypt tried to borrow a camel for one photo and refused to pay. The camel's owner, police, and the camel all disagreed. The resulting chase lasted 20 minutes and 3 sand dunes. The camel won decisively. 35. In Germany, a tourist climbed onto a World War II memorial tank to twerk for TikTok. Local veterans reported her. She claimed she was honoring history. The judge agreed to a fine large enough to restore another tank. 36. A drunk visitor in Canada attempted to wrestle a moose statue, unaware the statue stood outside a police station. The camera footage doubled as evidence and entertainment. He now stars in anti-drunk driving PSAs. Unpaid. 37. In Portugal, a tourist surfed down the marble steps of a cathedral on a stolen serving tray. The video was 6 seconds long. The arrest took 5. He later told press he was making art. The cathedral called it performance vandalism. 38. In Singapore, a traveler threw coins into a hotel fountain for luck, except the fountain was ornamental and connected to the lobby's electrical system. Sparks, panic, blackout. The hotel charged him for accidental fireworks. 39. In India, 2 tourists stole a taxi to see sunrise from a better angle. They didn't know the car had GPS tracking. Police met them at the viewpoint. The sunrise was lovely. The mugshots less so. 40. In South Korea, a man broke into a closed theme park to ride the Ferris wheel alone. It stalled halfway up. He live-streamed his regret until firefighters arrived. The stream's title: "The view wasn't worth it." 41. In the UK, a stag party climbed a royal statue for photos. The statue broke. The court labeled it criminal disrespect. They claimed ignorance of monarchy laws. The fine taught them faster than any history book. 42. In Italy, a tourist drove a rented scooter inside the Colosseum because Google Maps said shortest route. Authorities called it a new record. 2,000 years of civilization, 20 minutes of stupidity. 43. In Chile, a backpacker climbed a volcano despite closures and live alerts. He posted, "Rules are suggestions." He was rescued and invoiced for every minute. His followers loved it. The rescuers didn't. 44. In Dubai, a man filmed himself washing his car with champagne. For the aesthetic. Authorities classified it as public indecency and waste of luxury goods. His caption said, "Worth it." The court disagreed. In Iceland, a tourist carved his name into a centuries-old glacier so it would last forever. Rangers photographed him mid-act. They were right, it will last forever, just not on the ice, but in court records. The world as a mirror. Meltdowns later, the verdict is unanimous. Human stupidity doesn't respect borders. It applies for visas. Every continent holds its monuments, and now, its mugshots. Each traveler came seeking beauty, found ego, and left proof that gravity and law remain undefeated. Maybe the planet isn't angry, just exhausted, because every time someone says, "It's just a photo," the universe sighs, adds one more case to this archive, and quietly mutters, "Next time, stay home." Signature close. This has been the Absurdist Files. File 002. 5 dumbest vacation meltdowns that got tourists arrested abroad, and a documentary record of humanity's most expensive souvenirs. Because travel expands the mind, but stupidity, apparently, flies business class.